Minor Justice Mission Statement, page 5. Page 5. If you don't have a book and somebody's next to you, please let them see the mission statement until they bring y'all the copies. Page 5. If somebody would like to read standing where you are, you can just stand up and do it. Go ahead.
Minor Adjustments Program Mission Statement. Information, application, and destination. Minor Adjustments is dedicated to preventing and reducing crimes. Our primary purpose is to teach men or women how to make the minor adjustments that are necessary for their lives, which will allow them to obtain and maintain a productive lifestyle after incarceration or rehabilitation.
In that mission statement, two of the most profound words or the most powerful words in that mission statement are the words obtain and maintain. And our motto is anywhere but backwards. Everybody say, to attain my sobriety is easy.
To attain my sobriety is easy.
Our challenge is to maintain it.
To maintain.
Say, to obtain our sobriety is easy.
To attain our sobriety is easy.
Our challenge is to maintain it.
To maintain.
The reason why I say that is because to obtain means to come into the possession of something. But the word maintain means to keep it in existence. And for 22 years of my life, I struggled with crack cocaine and heroin, and I discovered that my problem wasn't getting off of drugs. My actual problem was staying off of drugs. So to attain my sobriety was the easy part. The part that I had a problem with was
Maintain.
Everybody say anywhere,
Anywhere.
but back.
But back.
That came from a Bible verse, Jeremiah 7:24. And it says, yet they did not obey and incline their ear to me, but they followed the counsel and the dictates of their own hearts, and they kept going backwards instead of forward. Everybody say anywhere,
Anywhere.
but backwards.
But backwards.
Come on, give yourself a round of applause. If you get just that simple part right there, you will be one of the most successful people in your family. If you just can stay focused on going anywhere but backwards. For 22 years of my life, I kept going backwards. When I get out of rehabilitation center, I went back. When I got out of prison, I went back. And when I discovered that most of my problems came from me keep going back. Everybody say anywhere.
Anywhere.
But back.
But backwards.
Everybody who's new and don't got a book, raise your hand. My wife going to give you a copy of that paper. So today we're going to do Living Victorious, page 69. Page 69. And again, this is the last week, and everybody who haven't had the opportunity to take the Minor Adjustments Program is an 8-week course, and we'll be starting a new session a few weeks down the road. And even the people who have taken this course, you're welcome to come back and sit in here with the new groups. Y'all actually can help them. Y'all can be like, mentors. Y'all can be helping them along or showing them things that you have gained since you was in the program, all right? Hold on, one of them is the original. They got holes in them. The ones that got holes in them. Yeah. Everybody say anywhere.
Anywhere.
But back.
But backwards.
All right, let's go. Page. Each week when we do the group, I like to have an expectation for the group. Today my expectation is that everyone's heart of a champion will get revived. That everyone's heart of a champion will get revived. And I'll talk about it later. Living victorious does not mean freedom from temptation, nor does it mean freedom from mistakes or losing. But you must never be satisfied with losing, or even be happy with your mistakes. You must get angry, terribly angry about losing and your mistakes. But the mark of a good loser is that they take their anger out on themselves, meaning they assume responsibility for their actions. They take responsibility. Once you're able to take responsibility for where you are or how you got into this situation, and you eliminate blaming other people, once you take responsibility, you can do something about it. And not their victorious opponent. Victory is always possible for that person who refuses to stop fighting to obtain and maintain living victorious. And the reason why I said that everyone's heart of a champion will be revived. I remember basketball years ago, the Houston Rockets had won the championship. And they were in the playoffs, and they were losing by a great deficit. And they was down by a lot of points, and the coach, looked at the team. He called the timeout. He says, man, it's the fourth quarter. We down by a lot. We the champs. And he called the timeout. When he called the timeout, he happened to look over there at his opponent, the other team. And they were all down there high five. They was giving high five. The coaches and the team that was coming off. And he looked at them, and they were celebrating because they was like, we up by a lot of points right now. This game over. So they was happy. So the coach took his team, he talked to them, gave them a strategy that they was going to use. They went back in the game. They eventually beat, and the Houston Rockets became 2 times world champions. And later that day, the television network showed the excerpt of the last timeout. And when the coach called the timeout, and he told his team, never underestimate the heart of a champion. You see, the reason why I'm telling y'all this story is because when that team sent the champion down, that team thought it was over. But a lot of our lives, we have been down a lot. But a lot of people looked at our lives and they thought it was over. Amen. But they never should underestimate the heart of a champion. When most people see me and they see me addicted to crack cocaine, they thought my life was over. When they see me going back and forth in the prison, they thought my life was over. When they saw me going in and out of rehabilitation centers, they thought my life was over. But they never should have underestimated the heart of a champion. And the reason why I say that your heart of a champion has to be revived is because you're just like me. You have the heart of a champion in you too. But you have to have your heart revived. Everybody say, I have the heart.
I have the heart
of a champion.
Of a champion.
Yeah.
Every last one of y'all. And that's why I come here with the passion and the enthusiasm that I have. Because I'm just like you. And nobody couldn't tell me that my life couldn't change. You just have to revive the heart of a champion that's in you.
Ah, boy. Man, I want to jump up and run around here and stop it!
Everybody say anywhere.
Anywhere.
Come back.
Come back.
The word living means power of continuing to life. The act of living or living comfortable. Somebody say comfortable.
Comfortable.
Yes. Hey, listen to me.
We'll take one of those over here.
Listen to me. You need one? Here, you can use it. Give it back to me. I'll give you a copy though. Everybody say comfortable.
Comfortable.
You never have to be jealous of another man or woman. All you simply have to do is make your life comfortable. As long as your life is comfortable. Because I have discovered that I have seen men and women have everything, but their life was not comfortable. It's all purpose is all comfortable. If your life is comfortable, you may not have what that man had. But as long as your life is comfortable, that's living victorious.
Come on, man.
That's called living victorious. I may not have what you have, but I also don't have the headaches you have.
Now, come on now.
My life is
comfortable.
Come on. That's living victorious.
Yeah.
Who do you think has a victorious life? What does living victorious mean to you? You see how I just said living victorious may not mean I have what this person had. Living victorious for Michael is having my life comfortable. That's everybody's victorious life is going to be different. All of us have not been challenged in the area of being a father or a mother. Some of us might have struggles being a parent, but not necessarily everybody in this room have that issue. Some of us might have issues with employment. Some of us might have issues in relationship. But that's okay. Living victorious don't mean my life has to match yours. Living victorious means I just have to put my life in a place where I'm comfortable. If I'm comfortable, then that's living victorious. You never have to be jealous or try to compare yourself with anybody. Next page, page 7. Where should you start to attain a victorious life? Anybody?
Right here, right now.
Today.
That's good. Where should you start? Right here, right now. This is everybody says it's an inside job.
Inside.
When I say it's an inside job, it's a twofold thing. I mean, the work that you have to do, obviously, has to be done.
Inside.
And also, it means the work that you have to do has to be done.
Inside.
Because if you don't take care of the inside, when you go outside, it's everybody say inside job.
Inside job.
You have to take care of the work inside. The things that I used to do, listen to me. The things I used to do are still available to me today. But the things I used to do don't match who I see inside.
Come on.
So even though it's available for me to do it, what I see inside, the heart of a champion, the stuff I used to do don't match what I see. Because I changed inside. So now my life, I'm living a victorious life based on who I see I am inside. That's why I keep telling y'all have the heart of a champion. And my only purpose is to come here and try to revive that person that I know that's inside you. How do I know it's inside you? Because it's inside me. And I'm just like you.
Amen.
So my only purpose is to come here and try to show you I don't care. Everybody say I'm not an addict.
I'm not an addict.
I'm a person.
I'm a person
who struggles with an addiction.
with addiction.
I will never say, Michael, I'm an addict. First, I would say, hi, I'm Michael, a person who struggles with an addiction. You have to realize that before you are an addict, you are a person.
Amen.
Everybody say, I'm not an addict.
I'm not an addict.
I'm a person, who struggles with an addiction. Let me shock y'all real quick. Everybody has one. And when you say it that way, it does not distinguish a person addicted to a donut or drugs. So if you say, I'm a person who struggles with an addiction, you are all, or we are all in the same boat. You just struggle with the donut, and I struggle with drugs. That doctor told you stop eating it. You keep eating it, don't you?
Leave them donuts alone.
Everybody say I'm not an addict.
I'm not an addict.
I'm a person, who struggles with an addiction. And that puts us all in the same boat. Some people got addiction with soda. Some people got addiction. It don't all. But when you say an addict, instantly you look at what? Come on. You look at drugs. But you are a person. You are a person. I'm a person. Hi, I'm Michael. I'm a person who struggles with an addiction. I'm a person. You are a person. Always remember that. I'm going to revive the person in you. You are a person. Do you have to change some of the things you're doing? That's right. If you don't change what you're doing, obviously you're going to go backwards. And our motto is, see, y'all got it. I got it, man. I can't, all the people who haven't heard me speak during the 8 weeks and everything, again, we're going to do a new class. And again, all y'all who are available to come to the classes, y'all can still come, obviously, you know what I mean? But you got to take the whole 8-week course to be able to get everything that I have to try to pour into you. And again, the success of the Mind Adjustment Program for my wife and I is not us having opportunities to go to different facilities. Our success is in you. Our joy is seeing you 6 months down the line, a year down the line, and we still in contact. Yo, how you doing? Man, I got my license back. That's our success. Your success is our success. One of y'all lose your lives up to addiction, it obviously caused us to feel some type of way, but we got to keep it moving. We don't have time to move. It's another person we trying to reach. Everybody say anywhere.
Anywhere.
But back.
But back.
Where should you start to attain your victorious life? Good. Why is having a victorious life important? How do you maintain a victorious life? I'm going to give y'all 5 things that y'all got a pen. Write these in your book. I'm going to give y'all 5 things that y'all can use to maintain a victorious life. The first one is discipline.
Yeah.
5 things. I'm going to give y'all 5 things that y'all can use to maintain a victorious life. The first one is discipline. Everybody say discipline.
Discipline.
The next one is structure. Everybody say structure. Well, y'all get trained with that here. Listen to me. Yo, listen to me. Miss D, listen, the structure I got in my life, she birthed it. Everything was structured. I would always try to go around her and say, if I could just get to her husband, I might got a shot. Like, I know what she gonna do. If I could just get around her to her husband. But you know what she taught me? Structure. 9 years later, since I left here, I haven't touched anything. Not only have I not touched anything, 9 years later after I left here, this year I'm releasing my 9th book. I'm a 9-time published author. Thank you. Since I left here, I started my own program. All because of structure.
Come on, man.
Everybody say discipline.
Discipline.
Structure.
Structure.
The third one is integrity.
Integrity.
These are things to maintain living a victorious life. The next one is character.
Character.
And the last one, watch this, is boundaries.
Boundaries.
5 things. Everybody say discipline.
Discipline.
Structure.
Structure.
Integrity. Character. And boundaries.
Boundaries.
There are 5 things. If you develop those areas to maintain a victorious life, especially that last one, that boundary, there are some things that I just won't do. There's some things people will call and ask for certain type of help. If I find out that I have to cross my boundary to help them, they in trouble. They better call God. Because I can't cross my boundary. You have to have boundaries. Once you do that, once you set up boundaries of what you will and won't do, you have to live by it. Once you set it up, I have to do it every day. Again, the things I used to do are still available to me today. But because my life has discipline, because my life has structure, because I live a life of integrity, and because I have character and I won't cross my own boundaries. And sometimes when you're trying to develop your character, you have to get some assistance from people or be accountable to people. If I'm leaving Wilmington, if I don't talk to my wife, at least I'll text and say, babe, I'm leaving Wilmington now. When I get to Atlantic City, I say, babe, I'm in Atlantic City now. And it's not control or anything. That's my boundaries. So if anything happened, where was he last? He's here. What did he do? He did this. How do you know? Everything he did, he told me. And that don't have nothing to do but my boundaries. So if anything happened, my wife always tells me, even if you mess up, I'd rather hear from you first before somebody else tells me. I said, what? I'd rather hear from you before someone else say, I see this. And that's just your boundaries. When you set up boundaries, you have accountability. And people can call it what they want. They can't call me what they used to call me. Because I don't do it no more. Amen. So in order for you to live victorious, you have to, everybody say discipline. Discipline. Structure. Integrity. Character. Boundaries. Y'all got that? Yeah. Oh man, yeah, it's going down. I can't wait to do the graduation. You know, my wife usually play music for y'all, like the graduation stuff. You walk down the aisle stuff. She wild. You know how you do. The first time she did it, I fell out. I said, yo, what you doing? She said, no, the graduation music. Let's play the graduation. And the people come down the aisle. I said, oh man. Do y'all have visitors on that day? No, right? All right. So y'all be here, and then y'all eat after this, right? After Sunday service,
yeah.
Right? Oh, so I can eat with y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an inside job.
Tell me I'm staying. It is possible. Is it possible to learn from your mistakes and losses?
Yes.
Yeah. Listen, your mistakes and your losses have to become your mentors. Your mistakes and your losses have to become your mentors. Listen to me. I teach more from my mistakes than my successes. My mistakes have actually become my mentors. The reason why I can tell someone something in business is because I failed in that area before. The reason why I can tell somebody in marriage because I did something and I failed at it before. Your mistakes and your losses that's when you know you have started to grow to live a victorious life. It's when you learn from your mistakes and losses. The person who keep repeating something that they knew they lost at before is crazy. It just don't make sense. You already know if you keep messing with heroin at least 1, 2, 3 days, you know you're going to have a habit. You already know if you do that, what's going to be the outcome. No matter what it is, we already know. The proof that a person learned from their mistakes and their losses is 100% proof right here. They never go back to it. If you can tell that a person who learned from it, they will not, they're not going back to that. They're like, no. Huh? It said, hot. That's my granddaughter. I talked to her on the way here too. Are you comfortable living this way? And this question came from my sister. One day she was talking to me and I was locked up. And I was locked up for like I lost count. And I was calling her and she was like, bro, I need to ask you a question. I said, what? She said, I ask you a question and you don't get mad. Any time somebody asks you that, it's going to be something tough. Yo, I'm going to ask you a question. You hope you don't get mad. So she says, I was in rehab or whatever, and I talked to her, and she says, are you comfortable living that way? And you know what I had to do? Think about it. And she was like, because you come in here, you go home, you do it again, go back, come home, do it again. And she said, maybe you're comfortable in there. And I had to think, oh man, I gotta reevaluate. Maybe I am. And then I learned that the stuff, I started making it seem as if this was so easy. And that's why I said, like I mastered the NA and the AA way, the recovery lingo. I mastered it. I can go through the program and I can have it on my tongue like, I mastered it. And that was one of the reasons I came up with the Mind Adjustment Program. Everywhere we went, we would do the program, or wherever we do the program, and the people have not mastered the program because it's new. So now they're like, hold on, this is something totally different from what I mastered. So when you're in a facility like this, you got to break your own comfort zone. Because you can't get comfortable with it, and then something happened, and then I started doing things when it get cold, and I get in a situation with my wife, I'm like, Yeah, whatever. This is when I usually go to rehab anyway. It was like, in my head, I was like, this is when I mess up anyway. I'm trying to come home when it's summertime, shining for a hot 2 days. You know, you come home for 2 days. Next thing you know, you back right doing what you used to do. 2 days.
Off to the races.
All right, page 71. You have something special in you that gives you an advantage. You have seeds of greatness in you. Everybody says the inside job. But you still must become significant. You can overcome any obstacle or achieve your purpose in life. When you realize the importance that you have, that has been put inside you, everybody says inside job. There is nothing you can't do. No dream is too big, no challenge is too great. You have to be transformed by the renewing of the mind and then set that renewed mind in motion and determine in your heart that no matter what happens, you're willing to go anywhere. Tell yourself, I'm living victorious. Everybody say, I'm living victorious.
I'm living victorious.
Say, I'm living victorious.
I'm living victorious.
You have to transform your mind. It's always the battles between our ears. It's a mind thing. Once you transform your mind, once you transform that mind, the way you used to do things, then you set the transformed mind in motion to do something different. You're going to shock a whole lot of people after you leave these programs if you transform your mind. People are going to try to predict what you're going to do. But I have been proving them wrong ever since. Everybody say, I'm going to prove the dollars wrong.
I'm going to prove the dollars wrong.
Prove them wrong. Prove them wrong. Don't worry about what they're going to think. Trust me, they think something. They've been thinking something on me for years. But 9 years later, I've been proving them wrong.
Proving them wrong.
And you have to do the same thing. Transform your mind. Then when you transform your mind, set that mind in motion. Do something different. You all have to do it. You all have to do it. Every last one of y'all have it in y'all. Everybody says it's an inside job.
It's an inside job.
There is nothing exciting as winning. The taste of victory in our lives is sweet. There's nothing, absolutely nothing exciting as a lucky field goal missing hitting the side of the head. It ain't nothing more exciting than seeing my wife sit up there and I tell her we was in the basement. She wanted, I'm going live in the basement. So she went live, we watching the game. So I said, babe, 5 seconds left. It's a chip shot. I said, I'm sorry. She's an Eagle fan. I'm 49. I said, baby, it's over. She was like, it ain't over. I'm like, it's over. No, he's making that. When it hit the thing, boom, and then it hit it twice. Then it hit boom, and then it hit it boom. I looked at her. She said, there's nothing more exciting than winning. It's sweet, because I was like 5 seconds. He right there. I said, babe, I start grabbing stuff off the bed. Turn the light. Look, I told her, turn the light out when you come up. I'm going upstairs, hit the fireplace go off by itself. I unplugging my phone. And I looked and I said, you gotta be, it's nothing more exciting than winning though. That was sweet.
Never underestimate the part of the champion.
Right, okay.
I mean, I really couldn't believe it. I said, you gotta be kidding me, man. These jokers is good. Thought for the day, 72. There's no one magic move or secret that creates victory, but lots of little items that when it's added together can make you victorious. A lot of little items that's added together, like the 5 things I told you, those are little items that when you put them together, it will lead to something. There's not just one magic pill, because if it was, it'd be very expensive. It's not. It's a lot of little things that I have to do. You have to learn how to change the way you talk. I remember I was going to a meeting, I believe it was Bo Robson and Trenton. And I was going there and I was talking to the staff about doing a program there. Excuse me. And they were walking me around the facility. It was me and the guy I had with me. And while we was walking around, they was like, well, over here, this is where they house the inmates. Over here, this is where the inmates do this. Over here, this is where the inmates do this. And I'm saying to myself, I know. I used to be one. I'm sitting there like, I didn't tell her that, but I'm saying to myself, I know where they used to be. I used to be here. But the reason why she didn't know that is because I didn't look like what I was looking like at that particular time. But that didn't mean nothing. That happened because a whole lot of different things in my life added up to a victorious life. It's a whole lot of little things that you have to do in your life. Again, to attain your sobriety is easy. My challenge is to maintain. The drug part, that's the easy part. We can put that down like that. All we got to do is the judge tell us, we're going to send you to jail. You don't get, oh, okay. That's really, consequence can push us to put the drug down. But how long can we maintain it? If we don't do something, that's the easy part. We have to maintain it. And a lot of little things in our lives we have to do, but you got to do all that in here. Let's see. Many men and women will finally succeed only because they have failed at repeated efforts. If they have never met defeat, they will have never known any great victories. You will find peace not by trying to escape your problems, but by confronting them courageously.
Yes.
You will find peace not in denial, but in the victory.
Yes.
In every adversity, there lies a seed of an advantage. In every defeat is a lesson showing you how to win the victory the next time. Your victorious living is right around the corner. Never give up no matter what it looks like. Never give up no matter what it looks like. Never give up no matter what it looks like. When I was a kid and I was playing in the sports, and I noticed that our coaches used to always show us tapes of the opponent that beat us more than the tapes of the opponent we beat. And every week we would come in and I used to ask my coach, man, yo, we trash, you know, the other team. Let's watch that tape. He said, no, we watching the tapes of the losses. And I said, why would we keep watching the tapes of the losses? He said, because you need to learn how they beat you. So he showed us the tapes that we lost, let me tell you. The tapes that you have of when you lost are the tapes that you need to study so you know how to beat the things that you struggle with. If you keep playing it back, you say, I know how I went back to it because I kept trying to hang around the people who wasn't going in my direction.
Amen.
So if you study the tape of the things you lost at, then you will learn how to win. I studied what I used to do. You can ask my wife. Whenever I would get some type of sobriety, and I'm originally from Atlantic City, we were living in Bristol. When I would get some type of sobriety, I would always want to go to Atlantic City to show all my friends that I was clean. But not soon after I show them I was clean, I was dirty. But I realized that's how I kept losing. So when I played the tape back, how do I keep losing? And I kept losing because I wanted to go show them how I was doing. So I said, I got to stop doing that. And look what happened. I stopped trying to show them I'm clean. Now I live a victorious life and they see it. But you have, everybody's tape is different. You have that tape. You might have to go back and get that old dusty VCR tape of when you kept relapsing. You know where you went back to it at. You know, you have to play it back and say, you know, every time I do that,
I got to go all the way back to 8-track.
whatever works.
A long time ago.
The word victory means conquering, winning, triumph, champion, on top, having defeated an adversary. Those words is associated with all of y'all. When you overcome the situation you're in now, let me tell you, you gain confidence when you overcome. The more I go, again, August that just passed, that was my 9th year of being when I last left here, I never touched a drug when I left. But the more I go, the more confident I get in it. The more I go, the more confident. And again, there are people around me who have went back, got out, went back, got out. I just don't have that testimony. I just want to live my life and be comfortable. So I can't go back, jump in. I can't do that. You can't do that either. There's no time for that right now. Who's winning in your personal war? What gives them the advantage? You got to figure out what's giving them the advantage. What areas of your life can you get the best lesson from? Good God. What area of your life can you get the best lesson from? Your mistakes, I say. I teach more from my mistakes than my victories. Why are you comfortable with defeat and unlearned lessons? And people say, well, why would you say they're comfortable with their defeat and unlearned lessons? I said it's easy, because the person who was not comfortable with their defeats won't keep going back to it. If you're comfortable with it, you'll keep doing it. There is no way you will convince me that I was comfortable or I wasn't comfortable with using and going back and forth to jail and rehabilitation centers like that, and I kept going back to it. So that something was wrong. Do you try to escape your problems? Do you know your advantages? Y'all all have advantages. The tapes my coach used to show me, he showed me the tapes how my opponent beat me, and then he showed me how I didn't use the advantages that I had over my opponent. I had advantages over my drug addiction, but I kept allowing, this the advantage I had over it. It's just like this cup of water. I can be thirsty, but I still got to pick it up to drink it. No matter how thirsty I get, I'm thirsty for some type of drug or alcohol. You thirsty for it, but you still got to
Pick it up.
I don't care how I'm thirsty. I want some water. It don't mean nothing. That water is not going to jump up and say, you thirsty? No, I got to participate. Everybody say participate. You have to. We complicate this thing, man. We're too smart to let some dust defeat us. No, we're too smart. You are a person. That's a thing. That's a thing. You are a person. You have breath in you. That thing has nothing. No matter what it is, you are a person. And that's a thing. I'm not letting a thing beat me. I'm a person. Let's see. Is your mind focused on your victories? Right here I have, I got it over the book. You are not an addict, you are a person who struggles with addiction. You are a person. I was just saying, I didn't even know I wrote it. But you are a person. In order for you to live a victorious life, you have to remember, I'm a person. I am a person who struggles with an addiction. And like I said, we have people who struggle with all type of addictions. If we took a poll, everybody would be in the program together. It's just that when you say addict, we're associated with a drug. But everybody has an addiction to something. Is your mind focused on your victory?
That's the question, because a lot of times when we're struggling with something, what we'll do is we'll focus on something we failed at or how we messed up. Find something that you do good or something that you accomplished and focus on that. Even if you mess up, focus on something good that you can find. And that's important because one time my husband had stayed clean. It was about a good year. He was doing good. And next thing you know, he was back. But I asked him what happened. He was like, I started waking up every day like, I ain't get high today. Then he started thinking every day, I ain't get high. Then he went from, I ain't get high to, why I'm not thinking about getting high? Then like, I really didn't think about getting high today. Then the next thing you know, he kept thinking about why he wasn't thinking about getting high. And guess what he did? When he got high. Because he was meditating on the wrong thing. So that's a good question. Is your mind focused on
On
your
victory.
victory? If you made it 2 days, focus on that third day. I made it 2 days. If I can make it 2 days, I can make it 3 days.
True.
Focus on it. Okay?
I would like to be page 75. I would like to be called an inspiration to people, not a role model, says Mrs. Wynn, because I make mistakes just like everybody else. You control your future, your destiny. What you think about comes about, like she just said. By recording your dreams and goals on paper, you set in motion the process of becoming the person you most want to be. Do you know that in the race, all runners compete, but only one receives the prize? So run your race that you may lay hold of the award and make it yours. You have to put your future in good hands, your own. Just always remember that information, everybody say information,
Information.
plus application,
Plus application.
destination.
Destination.
To live victory, to live in victory, you must think victorious. To live in victory, you must think victorious. He who knows when he can fight and when he cannot will always be victorious. And closing, I remember the story about a kid. He was outside, and he will be outside trying to dunk the basketball. He will be out there, he will be taking the basketball, hoop, dribbling, and trying to dunk the basketball. His father will come home from work, and he will see him out there trying to dunk this basketball. His father would look at him like, I see you, trying to do it. He'd go in the house, father would relax, grab a newspaper, sit there, look out the window, see his son stood out there trying to dunk the basketball. So one day his father come home, just as always, his son out there trying to dunk the basketball. And he kept trying to dunk it. Father go in the house, sitting down, reading the paper. And the son come in, Dad, come on. He said, what? He said, I got it. He said, you got what? He said, I'm dunking basketball. He said, man, you ain't growing eggs. He said, yes, I did. So he said, he come outside, son grabbed the basketball, and cook right there. He run up there, swing it. Boom! He dunked the basketball. So the father went over there, and he rolled the basketball court back up to the original standard. And he put it up, and he taught his son a lesson. He said, son, never live your life and try to lower the standard and then call it success. Instead, live up to the standard, and then you'll live a victorious life.